He saw them across the marble floor of the shopping mall. Two tiny faces. His face. In the arms of the woman he destroyed 9 months ago. His fiancée stood beside him, smiling, unaware. His ex-girlfriend met his eyes, and didn't look away. She wasn't crying. She wasn't begging. She was wearing a CEO badge. And her company could end his empire. The babies had his eyes, his nose, his silence. He had abandoned her. He never knew she was pregnant. Now she's back. And she's not the broken girl he left behind. This is the story of a man who thought he could walk away from love. Until love came back. With proof he can't deny. The downtown Chicago mall glittered like a kingdom built on glass and ambition. Min Jae Kim moved through it like he owned every inch. Because in a way, he did. 32 years old. Heir to the Korean underground empire that controlled half the city's silent power. Tall, sharp-suited, cold-eyed. The kind of man people stepped aside for without knowing why. His fiancée, Catherine, walked beside him. Blonde, elegant, from old money. She was talking about wedding flowers. He wasn't listening. Min Jae never listened unless someone was offering information or asking for mercy. His security detail followed at a distance. 3 men in black, armed but invisible. This was supposed to be a simple outing, a public appearance, a performance of normalcy. Then he saw her, across the atrium, near the fountain where water fell in slow, shimmering arcs. Naomi. His heart stopped. Not metaphorically. He felt it, a physical jolt, like his chest had forgotten how to work. She was standing near a luxury stroller, wearing a tailored gray suit that screamed executive power. Her natural hair was styled in elegant twists. Her posture was straight, confident. She looked untouchable. Nothing like the soft, laughing woman he'd left behind 9 months ago. But it was her eyes that hit him hardest. Because they weren't looking at him with pain. They were looking at him with recognition. Calm. Almost. Pity. Then she stepped aside, and he saw the stroller. 2 babies. Identical. Sleeping. Min Jae's breath caught. Catherine was still talking. And I think ivory roses would be more sophisticated than white, don't you? He didn't answer. He couldn't. Because the babies in that stroller had black hair, pale skin, his exact nose, his mouth, his silence. Naomi bent down, adjusted one of the blankets with the kind of practiced ease that only comes from repetition. She looked up. Their eyes met. For 3 seconds, the world stopped. The noise of the mall faded. The crowd blurred. There was only her. Only him. Only the impossible truth sleeping in that stroller. Naomi's expression didn't change. She didn't cry, didn't flinch, didn't run. She just looked at him. Like she'd been expecting this. Like she'd prepared. Then she turned and walked away. Min Jae? Catherine's voice snapped him back. Are you listening? He blinked, forced himself to focus. Yes. You look pale. Are you feeling all right? I'm fine. He wasn't fine. His mind was racing. Naomi, here, in Chicago, with twins. Twins that looked exactly like him. 9 months ago, he'd ended things. Coldly. Cleanly. She'd been too soft. Too emotional. Too distracting. His father had made it clear. The family needed alliances, not love stories. So he'd walked away. No explanation. No apology. Just gone. He never knew she was pregnant. She never told him. And now... Min Jae, seriously. You're scaring me. Catherine's hand touched his arm. He pulled away. Too fast. Too harsh. Her eyes narrowed. What's wrong? Nothing. I need to make a call. He turned and walked toward the exit, his security team closing in around him. Catherine called after him, confused and annoyed. He didn't stop. He pulled out his phone, dialed his head of security. Find out everything about a woman named Naomi Laurent. African-American, late 20s. She was just at the magnificent Mile Mall. I want a full report in 1 hour. Understood, sir. Min Jae ended the call. His hands were shaking. He couldn't remember the last time his hands had shaken. Behind him, Catherine was still calling his name. But all he could see were those 2 tiny faces. his faces, and the woman who'd walked away without a word. The report came exactly 57 minutes later. Min-jae sat in the back of his Maybach, Catherine beside him in tense silence. She knew better than to ask questions when he looked like this. His phone buzzed. He read the message, and felt the ground shift beneath him. Naomi Laurent, age 29, occupation, CEO, Laurent Global Consulting, net worth, estimated $47 million. Company focus, corporate restructuring, hostile acquisitions, competitive intelligence. Current project, targeting Kim Enterprises real estate holdings. Min-jae's jaw tightened. She wasn't just back. She was coming for him. Laurent Global Consulting. He'd heard whispers about them over the past 6 months. A new firm, aggressive, ruthless. They'd already dismantled 2 mid-tier competitors in the Chicago market. And now they were targeting his family's legitimate business front. The same front that kept the authorities from looking too closely at what the Kims really did. His phone buzzed again. Another message. A photo. Naomi, standing outside a downtown office building. The Laurent Global logo behind her. She was holding one of the twins. The baby was looking at the camera. Min-jae's chest tightened. Who is that? Catherine's voice was sharp. He turned off his phone. No one. Don't lie to me, Min-jae, I saw the photo. It's business. That didn't look like business. He didn't answer. Catherine's eyes narrowed. Is she an ex? Silence. Oh my God, she is. Catherine. And that baby? Enough. His voice cut through the car like a blade. Catherine froze. She knew that tone. The one that meant the conversation was over. She turned away, arms crossed, fury radiating off her in waves. Min-jae stared out the window. His mind was already 3 moves ahead. Naomi was targeting his business. She had leverage now. 2 tiny, undeniable pieces of leverage. If word got out that he had illegitimate children, if his father found out he'd been careless, if the family's enemies learned there were heirs outside the bloodline protections. This wasn't just personal. This was war. And Naomi had fired the first shot. 3 hours later, Min-jae stood in his private office on the 40th floor of the Kim Tower. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. His city, or so he'd always thought. His second-in-command, Dae-jung, stood across from him. We've confirmed it, sir. Laurent Global has been quietly buying up shares in our subsidiary companies. They're positioning for a hostile takeover of Kim Real Estate Holdings. How much have they acquired? 18%. If they reach 25, they can force a board vote. Min-jae's expression didn't change. Stop them. We're trying. But they're moving through offshore accounts. Shell corporations. It's sophisticated. She's sophisticated. Dae-jung hesitated. Sir, is there something you're not telling me? Min-jae poured himself a whiskey. Didn't drink it. Just held the glass. The CEO of Laurent Global. Naomi Laurent. We have history. What kind of history? The kind that's about to become very expensive. Dae-jung waited. Min-jae set down the glass. Find out where she lives, where she works, where she takes those babies. I want surveillance. I want schedules. I want to know every move she makes. Understood. And Dae-jung? Yes, sir. This stays between us. My father doesn't hear about this. Catherine doesn't hear about this. No one. Dae-jung nodded and left. Min-jae stood alone. He walked to the window. Somewhere out there, Naomi was holding his children. Children he didn't know existed. Children she'd hidden from him. And now she was using them as weapons. Or was she? He replayed the moment in the mall. The way she'd looked at him. Not with anger. Not with desperation. Just calm. Like she'd already won. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. We need to talk. Tomorrow. 3 p.m. Laurent Global Headquarters. Come alone. No signature. But he knew who it was. Min-jae stared at the message. Then he typed one word. No. He deleted it. Typed again. I'll be there. Sent. Because the truth was simple. She had something he wanted. And he had something she needed. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. The Laurent Global headquarters building was new, sleek, modern, all glass and steel ambitions, and Min-jae walked through the lobby at exactly 2:58 p.m. Alone, as requested, but not unarmed. His security team was stationed in 3 vehicles outside, ready to move if he gave the signal. A receptionist greeted him with a professional smile. "Mr. Kim, Ms. Laurent is expecting you. 40th floor." He nodded. The elevator ride felt longer than it should have. He watched the numbers climb. His reflection stared back at him from the mirrored walls. He looked calm. He wasn't. The doors opened. A minimalist hallway. White walls, black floors. At the end, a set of double doors. A woman stood beside them. Professional. Efficient. "Mr. Kim, this way." She opened the doors. Min-jae stepped inside. The office was stunning. Panoramic windows. A view that rivaled his own. A desk. Clean. Organized. And behind it, Naomi. She stood when he entered. Tailored navy suit. Hair pulled back. Minimal jewelry. She looked like power. But her eyes were tired. "Min-jae." Her voice was steady. "Naomi." She gestured to a chair. "Sit." "I'll stand." She almost smiled. "Of course you will." She sat instead. For a moment, they just looked at each other. 9 months of silence between them. 9 months of questions. Finally, Naomi spoke. "I didn't ask you here to fight." "Then why?" "Because you deserve to know." "Know what?" "That you've been plotting to destroy my company?" "I've been building my own." "There's a difference." "Not when you're targeting my assets." "Your father's assets." Min-jae's jaw tightened. Naomi leaned forward slightly. "I didn't plan this, Min-jae. When you left, I didn't know I was pregnant. By the time I found out, you were already engaged to someone else. You should have told me." "Why? So you could offer me money to disappear? So your family could threaten me?" He said nothing. Because she was right. That's exactly what would have happened. Naomi continued. "I built Laurent Global from nothing. I worked 18-hour days while pregnant with twins. I gave birth alone. I hired help. I survived. And I did it without you. Then what do you want?" "I want you to leave us alone." The words hit harder than he expected. "They're my children." "Biologically, yes, but you're not their father." "I could be." "No." Her voice was firm. "You couldn't. Because being a father means showing up. It means sacrifice. It means putting someone else first. And you've never done that in your life." Min-jae stepped closer. "You don't know what I'm capable of." "Yes, I do. That's why I left." "I didn't know. It doesn't matter. You made your choice 9 months ago. You chose your empire. Your family name. Your perfect fiancée. I didn't choose her. It was arranged. And you went along with it. That's still a choice." Silence. Heavy. Unforgiving. Min-jae's voice dropped. "Let me see them." "No. Naomi." I said no. "They're my blood. They're my daughters." He took another step. She stood. "Don't." Her tone was ice. He stopped. "I didn't bring you here to negotiate custody, Min-jae. I brought you here to set boundaries. You stay away from them. You stay away from me. And I'll pull back from your company. That's not enough. It's all you're getting. What about my rights? What about my rights?" Her voice rose for the first time. "I had the right to not be abandoned while pregnant. I had the right to a partner. I had the right to support. But you took all of that from me. So forgive me if I'm not interested in your rights." Min-jae's chest tightened. She was right. He knew she was right. But it didn't change what he wanted. "Let me meet them. Once. That's all I'm asking." Naomi studied him. He could see the conflict in her eyes. Finally, she sighed. "One meeting, supervised, 30 minutes. And then you walk away. I can't promise that. Then we have nothing more to discuss." She walked toward the door. "Wait." She stopped. Min-jae ran a hand through his hair, a rare gesture of frustration. "Fine. One meeting, 30 minutes." Naomi turned back. "Tomorrow, 2 p.m., my apartment. You come alone, no security, No recording devices, no threats. Agreed. She nodded. And Min-jae? He looked at her. If you hurt them, if you bring your world anywhere near them, I will destroy you. Not your company, not your empire. You. Her eyes didn't blink. He believed her. I won't hurt them. Good. She opened the door. He walked past her, paused. For what it's worth. I'm sorry. Naomi's expression softened, just for a second. I know you are, but sorry doesn't raise children. The door closed. Min-jae stood in the hallway. His hands were shaking again. Tomorrow, he would meet his daughters. And nothing would ever be the same. Min-jae didn't sleep. He sat in his penthouse, staring at the city lights, replaying the conversation in his mind. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. He would meet his daughters. The word felt foreign in his mouth. Daughters. He'd never imagined himself as a father. In his world, children were liabilities, targets, weaknesses to exploit. His own father had raised him with calculated coldness, teaching him that love was a luxury men like them couldn't afford. Emotion was weakness, attachment was danger. And yet, his phone sat on the glass coffee table, screen dark. Catherine had called 17 times. He hadn't answered. She was probably at her family's estate by now, furious and plotting her own version of revenge. The Hayes family didn't tolerate disrespect, and he disrespected her publicly by walking out of the mall. But none of that mattered right now. At 6 a.m., Dae-jung arrived with coffee and a folder. The surveillance report you requested. Min-jae opened it. Photos, schedules, details, Naomi's apartment building, a luxury high-rise in Lincoln Park, her daily routine, morning walks with the stroller, nanny arrivals and departures. Security was tight. Private elevator, doorman, cameras. She'd built a fortress. Smart. She's protecting them, Dae-jung observed. From me. From everyone. Min-jae studied a photo of Naomi pushing the double stroller through a park. She wore sunglasses, a casual coat. She looked peaceful. Nothing like the hardened CEO he'd faced yesterday. Sir, there's something else. Min-jae looked up. Dae-jung hesitated. Your father called. He wants to see you. Today, before noon. Min-jae's blood went cold. Did he say why? No. But he sounded displeased. That was never good. His father, Chairman Kim Sung-ho, was a man who'd built an empire through fear, strategy, and ruthless efficiency. At 71, he still controlled every major decision in the family, including Min-jae's engagement to Catherine. If he'd somehow found out about Naomi. I'll handle it. Dae-jung nodded and left. Min-jae stood, walked to the window. The city was waking up. People heading to work, to normal lives. Lives where secrets stayed buried, where past mistakes didn't return holding your DNA. He picked up his phone, typed a message to Naomi. I'll be there, 2 p.m. Her response came immediately. Don't be late. 11:47 a.m. Kim Estate. The family compound sat on 40 acres outside the city. Guarded gates, manicured gardens, old money architecture blended with modern security. Min-jae's childhood prison. He walked through the main house, past servants who bowed without making eye contact. His father's study was at the end of the east wing. He knocked once. Enter. Chairman Kim sat behind an antique desk that had belonged to his grandfather. 71 years old, silver hair, sharp eyes that missed nothing. He didn't look up from the document he was reading. You've been careless. Min-jae's expression didn't change. I don't know what you mean. Don't insult my intelligence. The chairman set down his pen, looked up. A woman, African-American, CEO of a consulting firm that's been targeting our holdings. Min-jae's heart rate increased. He didn't let it show. Laurent Global. I'm aware. Are you also aware that she was seen at the Magnificent Mile Mall yesterday? At the exact same time you were there with Catherine? Silence. And that shortly after this encounter, you abandoned your fiancée, ignored her calls, and spent the night alone? I needed to think. About what? Business strategy. The chairman stood, walked to the window. I've built this family on 3 principles, Min-jae. Control, discretion, legacy. He turned. You're jeopardizing all three. I'm handling it. Are you? Because from where I stand, you're allowing personal history to compromise our position. It's not personal, isn't it? The chairman moved closer. I know who she is. I know you were involved with her before Catherine. I know you ended it when I told you to. He paused. What I don't know is why she's back, and why you're suddenly interested in a corporate rival who should be beneath your notice. Min-jae met his father's eyes. She's targeting our real estate division. That makes her my concern. Then eliminate the threat, buy her out, destroy her funding, make her disappear. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. The chairman's voice hardened. You have a wedding in 8 weeks, a merger with the Hayes family that will secure our legitimate business interests for the next generation, and a reputation to maintain. He stepped even closer. I don't care what you felt for this woman. I don't care what unfinished business you think you have. You will end this, cleanly, quietly, permanently. And if I don't, the temperature in the room dropped. Then I'll do it for you. And my methods are far less gentle than yours. It wasn't a threat. It was a promise. Min-jae held his father's gaze. I'll handle it. You have 1 week. The chairman returned to his desk, sat down, picked up his pen. You're dismissed. Min-jae walked out. His hands were clenched so tight his knuckles were white. 1 week. 7 days to figure out how to protect Naomi and his daughters without losing everything. Or lose them all trying. 1:47 p.m. Lincoln Park. Min-jae stood outside Naomi's building. A doorman watched him with professional suspicion. He'd left his security team 6 blocks away. Come alone, she'd said. So he had. The doorman's phone rang. He answered, listened, hung up. Ms. Laurent will see you now, 40th floor. Min-jae stepped into the elevator. His reflection stared back at him. He looked calm, controlled. Inside, his heart was racing. The elevator doors opened, a private hallway. Only 2 doors. One was open. Naomi stood in the doorway. Jeans, a soft sweater, hair down. She looked younger, softer, more like the woman he'd known. You came. I said I would. She nodded, stepped aside. Come in. He walked into the apartment. Spacious, modern, but warm. Lived in. Photos on the walls, toys scattered on a playmat. And there, in the center of the living room, 2 bassinets. His breath caught. Naomi walked over. Looked down. They're sleeping. They usually nap until 3. Min-jae moved closer, slowly, like approaching something sacred. He looked down, and his entire world stopped. 2 tiny faces, identical, black hair, perfect little noses, rosebud mouths. One of them yawned in her sleep. The other's hand curled into a fist. They were beautiful, real, his. What are their names? His voice came out rough. The one on the left is Arya. The one on the right is Zara. Arya and Zara. He repeated it, testing the sound. I wanted names that were strong, that could belong anywhere. He looked at Naomi. She was watching him with careful eyes. Can I? He didn't finish the sentence. She nodded. Min-jae reached down. His hand hovered over Arya's tiny fist. Then, very gently, he touched her fingers. They were so small, so soft. She stirred, made a small sound. He froze. But she didn't wake, just shifted slightly and settled back into sleep. Min-jae's throat tightened. He'd held guns, weapons, power. But he'd never held anything this fragile, this important. Do you want to hold one? He looked up. Naomi's expression was unreadable. I don't know how. I'll show you. She moved beside him, gently lifted Zara from her bassinet, supported her head, cradled her close. Then slowly, she transferred her into Min-jae's arms. Support her head. Just like that. Yes. Zara's weight was almost nothing, but it felt like the world. She made a small noise. Her eyes fluttered but didn't open. Then she settled against his chest. Min-jae stood absolutely still. He looked down at her. His daughter. This tiny person who shared his blood, who existed because of choices he'd made, who had no idea who he was. His vision blurred. He blinked rapidly. She looks like you. Naomi's voice was soft. They both do. More than I expected. They have your mouth. She smiled. Just a little. Maybe. For a moment they stood there. Just two people holding a miracle between them. No empires, no threats, no past. Just this. Then Zara began to fuss. Naomi took her back. She's hungry. They eat every 3 hours like clockwork. You do this alone? I have a nanny during work hours. But yes. Mostly alone. The weight of that settled over him. While he'd been running an empire, she'd been raising their children. Feeding them. Changing them. Waking up every 2 hours through the night. Building a business and a family simultaneously. Naomi. Don't. She cut him off gently. I didn't tell you this to make you feel guilty. Then why? Because they deserve to know their father. Someday. When they're old enough to understand. And until then, we figure out what this looks like. What looks like? You. In their lives. In whatever way doesn't destroy them. Before he could respond, his phone buzzed. He pulled it out. A text from Daejung. Emergency. Catherine knows. She's on her way to your location. Min-jae's blood went cold. What is it? Naomi saw his face. My fiancée. She knows I'm here. How? It doesn't matter. You need to. The doorbell rang. They both froze. Naomi's eyes widened. Is that her? The doorbell rang again, insistent, angry. Then Catherine's voice, muffled but clear. I know you're in there, Min-jae. Open this door. Naomi looked at the babies, at him. You need to leave. I'm not leaving you to deal with this. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Your world, following you here. The doorbell rang 3 more times in rapid succession. Min-jae! He moved toward the door. Naomi grabbed his arm. Don't. Please, just go out the back service entrance. Avoid this, for them. She gestured to the babies. He looked at Arya and Zara, still sleeping, innocent, unaware that outside, his entire carefully constructed life was falling apart. I'll handle her, Naomi said quietly. But you need to go, now. The doorbell rang again. Min-jae looked at Naomi, at his daughters, and made a choice. I'm sorry. He walked to the door, opened it. Catherine stood there, perfectly dressed, perfectly furious. Her eyes went past him, to Naomi, to the bassinets, to the truth. Oh my God. Her voice was ice. It's true. She looked at Min-jae. You have children with her. Silence. Answer me. Catherine. She slapped him. The sound echoed through the hallway. Naomi stepped forward. You need to leave. Catherine's eyes snapped to her. I need to leave? This is my fiancé standing in your apartment with your bastard children. Don't. Min-jae's voice was deadly quiet. Catherine laughed. Sharp, bitter. You're defending her? After everything my family has done for yours? She pulled the engagement ring off her finger, threw it at his chest. We're done. And when my father hears about this, when your father hears, you'll wish you'd never been born. She turned, started walking away, stopped, looked back. I hope they're worth it, because you just lost everything. She was gone. Min-jae stood in the doorway, Naomi behind him, the elevator doors closed. And the world shifted. Everything he'd built, everything he'd protected, gone. Because of 30 minutes with 2 sleeping babies. Naomi touched his shoulder. He turned. You should have left, she whispered. I know. Why didn't you? He looked past her, at Arya, at Zara. Because for the first time in my life, I chose what mattered. The fallout was immediate. By 6 p.m., Catherine's father had called an emergency board meeting. By 8 p.m., Min-jae's father had summoned him back to the estate. By midnight, the engagement merger was officially dead. And by dawn, Min-jae was standing in his father's study, listening to his world burn. 8 years. Chairman Kim's voice was arctic. 8 years of negotiations, strategic planning, careful alliance building, destroyed in one afternoon. He threw a tablet across the desk. It showed a tabloid headline: Korean Mafia Heirs Secret Love Child Scandal. Below it, a blurry photo of Min-jae leaving Naomi's building. How did they... Catherine's family leaked it, along with everything else they could find. The chairman's eyes were dead. They've pulled their investment in our shipping operation. They've frozen 3 joint accounts. And they've informed the district attorney that they're willing to cooperate with any investigation into our family's activities. Min-jae's blood went cold. The Hayes family had always known what the Kims really were, but they'd stayed silent because the alliance benefited them. Now they had nothing to lose. They can't prove anything. They don't need proof. They need suspicion. And right now you've given them the perfect narrative. The chairman stood. A man who fathers illegitimate children and abandons his fiancée. What else might he be capable of? I didn't abandon anyone. You made a choice. A catastrophically stupid choice. The chairman walked to the window. I taught you better than this. I taught you that men in our position cannot afford weakness, cannot afford emotion. He turned. And yet you threw away an alliance worth $200 million for what? A woman you already walked away from once? 2 babies you didn't even know existed a week ago? They're my children. They're complications. The words hit like a physical blow. Min-jae's jaw tightened. Don't what? Tell you the truth? You want to play father? Fine, but understand what that costs. The chairman moved closer. The Hayes family will come after us. The authorities will investigate. Our enemies will see blood in the water. And all of it, will lead back to those children. He paused. They're targets now. Do you understand? Every rival who wants to hurt you will know exactly where to find your weakness. Min-jae's chest constricted. He hadn't thought about that. In his world, family wasn't safety. It was ammunition. Then we protect them. How? By putting armed guards outside a woman's apartment who wants nothing to do with you? By making them more visible? More vulnerable? There has to be a way. There is. The chairman's voice went cold. You walk away, completely, publicly. You denounce them. Call the story a lie, discredit the woman, and you rebuild your life without this distraction. I won't do that. Then you're a fool. Maybe I am. Silence. Heavy. Unforgiving. Finally, the chairman sighed. I'll give you 1 week. Figure out a solution. Fix this. Or I will. What does that mean? The chairman didn't answer. He didn't need to. Min-jae turned and walked out. 4 days later, Min-jae hadn't slept more than 2 hours a night. He'd spent every waking moment trying to find a solution, security plans, financial arrangements, legal protections. But everything led back to the same problem. As long as he was connected to Naomi and the twins, they were in danger. His father was right. In his world, love was a death sentence. He sat in his office at 3 a.m., staring at security footage from Naomi's building. She'd installed additional cameras after Catherine's visit. Smart, but not enough. His phone buzzed. A call from an unknown number. He answered. Hello? Mr. Kim, we haven't met, but we have mutual interests. The voice was male, accented, calm. Who is this? Someone who knows about your situation, and who has a proposition. Min-jae's blood went cold. This was how it started. Threats hidden behind polite language. I'm not interested in propositions. Not even one that protects your daughters? He froze. I have your attention now. Good. The voice continued. You have enemies, Mr. Kim, more than you realize, and some of them have noticed your new vulnerability. Get to the point. The point is simple. You can't protect them alone, but you also can't protect them by staying close, so you need someone who can do both, and that someone is you. For a price. I don't negotiate with... You'll want to hear this price, because it's not money. Min-jae waited. I want information. About your father's operations, shipping routes, distribution networks, partners. A rival, someone positioning for a takeover. Never. Then your daughters will become the most valuable targets in Chicago. I guarantee it. The line went dead. Min-jae sat in the darkness. his hands shaking. It had already started. The vultures circling. And he had no idea how to stop it. The next morning, Min-jae showed up at Naomi's apartment unannounced. She opened the door in pajamas, holding Arya, looking exhausted. "What are you doing here?" "We need to talk. It's 6 a.m. "I know. I'm sorry." She studied his face, saw something that made her step aside. "Come in." He walked into the living room. Zara was in a bouncer, kicking her legs happily. The apartment smelled like baby powder and coffee. Normal, safe, everything his world wasn't. "What happened?" Naomi asked quietly. He told her. All of it. The board meeting, his father's ultimatum, the threatening phone call. She listened without interrupting. When he finished, she sat down slowly. Said Arya in the other bouncer. "So, we're in danger." "Yes." "Because of you." "Yes." She took a shaky breath. "I knew this would happen. I knew getting involved with you again would—" "You didn't get involved. I forced my way in. Because I let you meet them. Because I thought—" She trailed off. "I thought maybe you'd changed." "I want to change. I'm trying to—" "Trying isn't enough," her voice cracked. "My daughters are targets because you can't walk away from your empire. I'm trying to protect you." "Then leave." Tears streamed down her face. "Just leave us alone. Go back to your world and forget we exist." "I can't." "Why not?" "Because I love them." The words hung in the air. Min-jae looked as shocked as Naomi. He'd never said that before, to anyone. Naomi wiped her eyes. "Love isn't enough, not in your world." "Then I'll leave it." "You can't. You said it yourself. Your father will—" "I'll find a way." "There is no way, don't you see? You're a Kim." "That's not something you can just walk away from." She stood. "I'm taking the girls. We're leaving Chicago. Today. Naomi, I should have done this the moment I saw you at the mall. I was stupid to think we could coexist. Where will you go?" "Somewhere you can't find us." "I'll find you." She looked at him with broken eyes. "Then I'll go somewhere further, and further, until you understand that the best thing you can do for your daughters is stay away." She walked to the bedroom, started packing. Min-jae stood there, watching the only thing that mattered slip away, and having no idea how to stop it. That night, Min-jae sat in his penthouse, alone, a glass of whiskey in his hand, untouched. His phone buzzed, a text from Dae-jung. "She's booked a flight to London. Leaves tomorrow at noon. Private jet, paid in cash. London, across the ocean, out of his reach. He could stop her. One phone call and her jet would be grounded, but that would prove her point, that he was exactly what she feared. Controlling, possessive, dangerous. His father would tell him to let her go, to rebuild, to forget. But how do you forget your own heart? His phone rang. His father. He answered. "I heard she's leaving." The chairman's voice was almost gentle. "Good. This is the clean solution." "Is it?" "Yes. Let her go. In a few months, this will all be forgotten. I'll never forget. You will, because you're a Kim. And Kims survive by moving forward, not looking back. What if I don't want to be a Kim anymore?" Silence. Then his father's voice, cold and final. "Then you're not my son." The line went dead. Min-jae set down his phone, looked out at the city, his empire, his prison, and for the first time in his life, he wondered if it was worth it. Min-jae didn't sleep. He sat in the darkness of his penthouse, watching the clock. 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Naomi's flight was at noon. In 4 hours, she would disappear, and he would never see his daughters again. His phone sat on the table. One call. That's all it would take. One call to ground the jet. One call to delay her departure. One call to trap her here. But that wasn't love. That was control. And he'd controlled enough lives already. At 9:15 a.m., his father called. Min-jae didn't answer. At 9:47, Dae-jung texted. "She's on her way to the airport. Security confirms luggage loaded. Girls are with her." Min-jae stood, walked to the window. The city looked the same as always, but he felt different, hollowed out. like someone had reached inside and removed something essential. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him. Hello? Mr. Kim. The voice from before. The threat. I told you. I know what you told me, but circumstances have changed. A pause. Your woman is leaving, taking your children out of the country. Min-jae's blood went cold. How do you know that? I know everything, Mr. Kim. That's my business. If you touch them, I have no interest in touching them, but others do. What? You've made powerful enemies, and now they know exactly where your weakness is. The voice lowered. That flight she's on, it won't reach London. Min-jae's heart stopped. What are you talking about? I'm talking about a mechanical failure. Mid-flight. Very tragic. No survivors. No. Unless you give me what I want. You're bluffing. Am I? Check the passenger manifest. Notice anything unusual? Min-jae grabbed his laptop, pulled up the flight information through his private security network. The jet was registered under a shell corporation. The pilot was freelance. No regular security protocol. And there, 2 additional passengers. Last-minute additions. Names he didn't recognize. But the booking pattern. Who are they? His voice was raw. Associates of a very unhappy business partner. The kind who believe in making examples. The Hayes family, among others. You've created quite the coalition of enemies, Mr. Kim. Min-jae checked the time. 10:03 a.m. The jet was scheduled for pre-flight at 11. Takeoff at noon. What do you want? I already told you. Information. Your father's shipping routes, distribution networks, client lists. That would destroy my family. Yes, but it would save your children. Min-jae closed his eyes. His father's voice echoed in his mind. Then you're not my son. His hands were shaking. How do I know you'll keep your word? You don't. But you don't have a choice. Those men board in 37 minutes. The flight leaves in 1 hour and 57 minutes. And somewhere over the Atlantic there will be a problem. Silence. What's it going to be, Mr. Kim? Your empire or your daughters? Min-jae's mind raced. There had to be another way. He could call Naomi, warn her. But she wouldn't believe him. She'd think he was lying to stop her from leaving. He could send his security team, but they'd never reach the airport in time. And even if they did, what then? Force her off the plane? Prove he was exactly what she feared? He looked at the clock. 10:08 a.m., 52 minutes. I need proof, Min-jae said. Proof that those men are actually threats. You'll have your proof when the plane explodes. Not good enough. A pause. Then the voice said, check your email. Min-jae opened his laptop. A new message. No subject. 1 attachment. He opened it. Security footage. O'Hare International, private terminal. Timestamp, 9:47 a.m. 2 men walking through security, both carrying diplomatic bags. Bags that wouldn't be searched. One of them turned toward the camera, and Min-jae recognized him. Pavel Konstantin, Russian enforcer. Known associate of the Bratva, and a man who specialized in making murders look like accidents. The video ended. Min-jae's hands were shaking. Now do you believe me? Why are you helping me? I'm not helping you. I'm offering a trade. Your family's empire for your daughter's lives. The clock ticked. 10:12 a.m., 48 minutes. Min-jae stood, grabbed his keys. I'll give you what you want. But first, I need to stop that plane. You can't reach the airport in time. Watch me. He hung up, ran to the elevator. His mind was moving at light speed. 48 minutes, downtown to O'Hare. Normally 45 minutes. Rush hour, impossible. Unless. He called Dae-young. I need the highway cleared, I don't care how. Police escort, emergency route, whatever it takes. Sir, I don't understand. Do it now! He burst out of the building. His car was waiting. A black Aston Martin, top speed, 200 mph. He got in. Engines roared to life. And he drove. 10:24 a.m., Interstate 90. Min-jae's speedometer hit 140. Dae-jung had managed to get 2 police motorcycles to create a corridor. Cars swerved out of the way. His phone rang. Naomi. He answered on Bluetooth. What? Her voice was sharp. Don't get on that plane. Excuse me? Naomi, listen to me. There are men on that flight, dangerous men. They're going to... Stop. Just stop. I'm not lying. I know you're not lying. I know you're desperate. But sending your people to scare me won't work. I didn't send anyone. Your father called me 20 minutes ago. He offered me $50 million to disappear, to sign away your parental rights, to never contact you again. Min-jae's blood went cold. He what? He said if I didn't take the money, he'd make sure I lost custody, that he'd bury me in legal fees, destroy my company, make me wish I'd never been born. Naomi, so whatever game you're playing now, whatever last-ditch effort this is, I'm done. This isn't a game. There are 2 men on your flight. Russian enforcers. They're going to sabotage the plane. Silence. Then Naomi's voice, cold and final. Goodbye, Min-jae. She hung up. He tried calling back. Voicemail. 10:31 a.m. 29 minutes. He pressed harder on the gas. 150 Mapartal. The airport signs appeared. 5 miles. 10:43 a.m. O'Hare Private Terminal. Min-jae's car screeched to a stop outside the security gate. Guards appeared immediately. Sir, you can't... He threw his ID at them. Kim Min-jae, I have clearance. That jet on runway 7, ground it, now. Sir, we don't have authority. Then find someone who does. He pushed past them, ran toward the hangar. Behind him, alarms started blaring. Security was coming. He didn't care. He burst through the hangar doors and saw it. The private jet. Engines already running. The door was closing.